Do you ever like tracking bugs? I'm not talking about the creepy crawlies. No. I'm talking about bugs. I'm talking about actual bugs in software or different issues that you have. Well, utilizing our issue tracking template, you're going to be able to do this extremely easily inside of Softr. So what is an issue tracker and why should you have one? Software companies, especially when they're just beginning and as they release new features, have a really hard time keeping track of all the bugs that their product has. Some of them are just left as forgotten and never fixed. This is why there needs to be a centralized place for reporting new bugs and managing the existing ones, assigning them to different teams so that they are fixed. As always, if you want to check out this specific issue tracker, I recommend that you go to our website and check out the link down below. And there are two different ways that you can use this. First, just as a preview, when we click on the preview option, we then have the option to utilize the preview from one of two standpoints, and that would be the two different user groups that exist, one being the engineering team and the other being the non-engineering team here. Or you can press use template and then integrate that into your Softr system. So I'm gonna press use template and add it to my Airtable data source and then utilize the API key. I'm gonna press copy base to my Airtable account so that it will connect the data, add new base, and then I'll make sure to press create application and boom. This is going to be created in just one moment. And then when taking a look at the different tables that we have within here, there's only two that are in the template. One is going to be teammates and one is going to be issues. So it's literally just a system that tracks issues. So the teammates are essentially the users. We'll notice that there is the employee level right here, and that's going to be the manager and the individual contributor. If we go to the users and then we go to user groups, we'll see that there's an engineering team and non-engineering team within here. So for example, as we saw with the engineering team and the non-engineering team, we can get some magic links created for logging in with some different people. So let's take a look at Robbie Pritchett versus Danny, who one is also a manager and one is also an individual contributor. Let's go to Robbie. I'm just gonna refresh the magic link, copy this, paste it into a new tab. But first we're gonna actually have to make sure that this is published. So do that so that you can make sure that that's the case. And then when I paste this out, it will work. So now what we have here is a very simple template, but a very effective one. So first and foremost, we see we have the option to report a new issue here. And this is essentially just gonna map to this different issue tracker that is open. And what does it mean by open? Because that is a little bit ambiguous to those of us who aren't aware of it. So on this homepage, we'll see that all of the open issues are here. These are filtered to the status is to do or in progress. And we'll notice in the issue tracker that the status property is essentially pretty basic status property with to do, in progress, and done. Done would not include what is shown on here. So for example, this CSV export doesn't work. It's gonna show up in here as to do. Or in this case, profile photo upload error. It's also gonna be to do. And then we can find an in progress one like password reset link. So if I, for example, were to type this password reset link, look at that, in progress. And we see the status over here on the right. Now, if we want to filter this by category, we definitely can do that, all by clicking on these different ones like login or checkout, and we can adjust the different categories by creating new ones. And in the back end here, we'll see that the system is set up to have content where there's a filter by category. And we can adjust this to be for different things. Like for example, instead of doing a filter by category or even manually creating them, we could sync it with the data source, and we could even change this to a drop down instead. So let's do, for example, who's it assigned to instead. We can do assignee email. Then for example, I'd go to that page, I could click here, and after entering a couple different people, like for example, just take a couple different options here, copy this, paste it in there, copy this, for example, the person that's logged in, publish this, and then open this in a new tab. Now, people can filter by the specific person that it would be assigned to, like the person that's logged in right now. And even more so, if we wanted to, we could make a separate view here. If I duplicated this and change this title to my open issues, and then have the conditional filter be set from a source standpoint to assignee email is one of logged in user email address. So in this section, you'll see from the teammate standpoint, the email address is going to be what is going to be mapped to the task. So this will work perfectly. So after I have already changed the name to my open issues, change the filter, press publish, and then quickly take a look at this. See that we have the all open issues at the top and we have the my open issues here. Now, this system does already come with some really nice views already. So if I, for example, were to go to the left here, you'll see that there's a bunch of different views that just go through the gauntlet of everything that is important. Unassigned issues, assigned to me issues, and then showing the status. So for example, I can move this to the left or the right. That will change the status. You can filter by different categories or search. I can then look at the different open ones. So all open issues, which is going to be the default homepage. We can see the closed ones, so the ones that are finished. And then we could even look at reported by me, which would be the issues that I would be reporting. And on this page, as well as the open page, we would have the ability for, if we see here on the back end, this action button, report new issue, get a button visibility, going to be seen by all users. But the difference between the two is not the fact that usually in a lot of our templates, we have the ability to add stuff like report a new issue, would be different per user group. But in this case, it's mainly just going to be a navigation thing. So here at the top one, this home header 1, the visibility for non-engineering teams is going to, if we look here, only show the opened and closed links that were on the side. And then over here, the engineering team, from a visibility standpoint, you'll see engineering team, will be able to see all of what I just showed you. So for example, if I were to go to the user groups, snag a person like Danny, and log in using their magic link, this navigation bar would only show the opened and closed items. However, I can still, just like I could in the engineering team, click into this and see more information on the issue, the ID, the reported by, the assignee, the created date, and any information that would go with it. And then if I wanted to report a new issue, I can click on it and, for example, put this video won't work. I tried recording and I just was bad. I know this isn't clearly what an issue would be, but humor. And then, for example, this could be a product page issue, optional for screenshots, and then the user email could be mitri@softr.io. Press submit, and then this would go to the issue tracker in our system. If I type video here, then it would showcase that this video won't work. And it defaults to a to-do status. And we can see what the form is by going here and checking out this button. So the action button and form sends us to a modal. That would be a form for report new issue. That's this form. And this form is going to take the issue title, description, category, screenshots, and user email and map those. But then there's also a few hidden fields here. So we have the hidden field for the teammate. So this is essentially the value of the person whose name is logged in. And then same here, this is just going to by default have the hidden value of to do because, well, it's new. It wouldn't be in progress. It would be brand new and it wouldn't be to do'd until we to do'd it. And once that needs to be to do'd, it can be updated information wise here. And you could also add the option to update the item for your own issues, obviously in that board view that we saw with the engineering team. But if we wanted somebody outside of the engineering team to do it, what we could do is have any of those update buttons in things like this issue tracker be set to also include and edit the record for add field, and then do a drop down, for example, and then grab the status so that we can switch between done, in progress, and to do. If somebody else were to be project managing it, that wasn't the engineering team. As you can see, there's a myriad of different options that you can utilize with this issue tracker. And if you're looking for a place to have a well-run machine when it comes to issue tracking in your own product or while helping somebody else with doing the issue tracking for their product, I would definitely check out the template down below and make sure you check out all the other templates that we have here at Softr. There are a myriad of different ones to choose from, and I hope videos like this one help you learn which one you're going to use for your own Softr app. And I hope videos like this one help you learn how to improve your Softr skills even more.